Testing, 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 testing. Let me check on my phone. I don't know why YouTube does this or why the stream does this. My mic and everything was still hooked up as it was before. I have no idea. All right, so the audio is working. I don't know if it's a glitch in the software, on YouTube, or what it is, but I'm working to upgrade behind the scenes all this, and so that we don't have this trouble every time we get ready to stream. But in the meantime, we got to work with what we have. So as I was saying before, let's take it from the top. Today is December 15th, 2019. This is Dope for Degrees Weekly Community Scholarship Chat. I go live every single Sunday at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time to answer any questions you have about scholarships, college, the scholarship application process, graduating debt-free. Whatever questions you want to ask, feel free to ask them on this chat. Dope for Degrees is a scholarship coaching company where I teach students how to earn scholarships to go to college and graduate debt-free. My name is Danielle Jeffers. I'm the host for today's chat. I'm also the founder of Dope for Degrees, and I graduated debt-free from Virginia Tech on May 17th, having earned more than $200,000 in scholarships. That's May 17th of this year. And so as I mentioned before, I was playing catch up this past week, trying to get 6 videos up, and the YFL Scholarship was due yesterday. So my time was spent helping clients. I didn't get a chance to upload those that I would have liked to, all 6 of them. Yay, we back. That's right, TMH, we're back. I got to figure this audio thing out. But I didn't have a chance to upload all 6s I would have liked to. I did get 3 up, so we're caught back up. What's up, sister? Yay. We're caught back up from the week before last week, and then the 3 that are remaining will go up today, hopefully, and get those up, and then we'll be back on track for 3 a week. I was saying that this process mimics the way my YouTube channel is structured a certain way so that it mimics the scholarship process. If you remember a video I dropped, when was it? I dropped it a couple weeks ago. I think it's titled, How Many Scholarships Should I Submit a Week? And throughout that video, I talked about the average amount of scholarships a scholarship applicant should submit each week is about 3. That's how many I was averaging each week when I was applying for scholarships as a high school senior, about 3 submissions each week. The reason why is because you won't win every scholarship you apply for, but you do want to increase your earning potential in regards to scholarships by submitting a good amount of scholarships. Now, an excellent scholarship submission average is 5 scholarships each week. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of commitment, but it is possible. There were times when I was submitting 5 a week. And then a poor average is if you're submitting a scholarship a week. Once again, you won't win every scholarship you apply for. So it's better to increase the amount that you could possibly win by applying for more and have those opportunities available to you. So my YouTube channel is structured very similar to the scholarship process. And if you watch what I do on YouTube and how I do it, you'll notice that it's very similar to how scholarships work. I average 3 video submissions. I average 3 video uploads each week on YouTube. Same thing I did when I was applying for scholarships. There are weeks when I don't get 3 videos up. Same thing happened when I was applying for scholarships. There were weeks that I didn't get scholarships submitted because life was extremely hectic or things didn't go as planned. Maybe I was sick, what have you. And so what I'm trying to teach you is the thing I said a long time ago, progress, not perfection. I'm not expecting you to be perfect. You're not going to get perfection out of me because I stumble all the time in my videos. I've stumbled in this video. Sometimes I upload way more than I could have for that week. I don't upload any at all, or I upload just enough. It's not about being perfect, but it's about making progress. And so for the past 2 weeks, what I've realized is now that I'm doing YouTube, it's a bigger part of my business than it was before. What I realized when it's close to a submission deadline for my clients that I have a lot of them working on, I have to make sure that I get ahead of the game, even further ahead of the game, and get my videos up or prepare them weeks in advance or what have you, because that was the case. The YFL Scholarship, as you know, if you're new to the channel, the YFL Scholarship, the Youth Financial Literacy Foundation Scholarship, is a scholarship I won as a high school senior. The first place award was $6,000 when I won the scholarship in 2015. And my clients were working on that scholarship, and it's available to high school seniors and first-year college freshmen. And when I go back and edit this video, I'll put all those links in. But the biggest thing about it was due December 14th, so yesterday. And so my clients were up against the deadline trying to get that scholarship submitted. So they had my focus. They had my time and attention, and my attention wasn't on YouTube. YouTube isn't the top priority in my business. It's my clients and speaking engagements and those people that I help outside of YouTube. But YouTube is important for me. It's another commitment. It's practice. And so what I want to get across is it's not about being perfect, but it's about making progress. And progress requires you to have a mindset of excellence. Excellence is not equivalent to perfection, but excellence is the constant pursuit of outstanding results, meaning that you're constantly seeking ways to get better and ways to improve. And that will reflect in the way you produce quality work and also the quantity of the amount of work you produce as well. And so that's some feedback on the upload issues and the lack of uploads and things like that, just in case anyone was wondering. The videos I have uploaded today so far, my scholarship success story, the shorter version, because there is an extended version on my channel as well. That's linked in the description box of that video. And then I uploaded one day before yesterday, or yesterday, I think it was. I talked about the worst mistake you can make in 2019, the combination of procrastination and anticipation, putting off what you could do this year while there are still days left in this year for 2020, and anticipating or being anxious about what you're going to do in 2020. What I've learned, and I've learned this the hard way, it's best to take things the way they're given to you. You only get 24 hours at one time, so take it that way. Now, I'm not telling you not to plan for what's coming ahead. It would be foolish of you, or it wouldn't be smart of you, let's put it that way, to not plan ahead. But at the same time, don't stress yourself out about the execution process of what's coming ahead. Just take the 24 hours that are given to you and maximize those. So I say all that to say those were the recent uploads, as well as the Power of Rejection. I really, really like that video, the Power of Rejection. That video is one of my favorite videos to shoot because it's important to know how much no's can impact your life. I think everyone is accustomed, or they would like to have yes, have a response of yes quicker, sooner rather than later, and for that to be the answer they hear more than often. I've heard no so many times that it's like no just fires me up. It just, okay, you told me no. That's cool. I'll figure it out. That's what it should do in the scholarship process. Scholarships teach you so many skills, but the power of rejection is my favorite skill that it'll teach you, because it teaches you how to be firm in knowing who you are and what you're supposed to be doing and why you're going to accomplish it. And so it forces you to have an identity from within rather than an external identity. You get what I'm saying? So knowing yourself at your core, knowing what you're capable of, and knowing why you won't quit, as opposed to being dependent upon someone validating you and who you are and your self-worth based on their assessment of you. You've been with yourself the longest, so you know yourself better than anyone else. So no's don't define you. That was really one of my favorite videos so far. What else? What else is going on? I do want to take a couple minutes while we're on this call. I said on this call, on this YouTube live, to reflect about the YFL Scholarship. What I've learned is good leaders do reflect. Before we segue into that, I will say, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about scholarships, please drop that in the chat. I'd be more than happy to address it. If you're watching this video after we finish the live stream, go ahead and drop a comment in the chat box, or on the comment section rather, so I'll get a notification. I'll be more than happy to help you that way. Also, if you need to contact me, have a question or a conversation with me, that a link is in the description box of this video. Contact Danielle, and you can schedule a time that works best for you, so we can have a good 10-minute conversation, or however long you need to talk, and figure out what we need to do to help you succeed. Okay, so let's jump into reflecting for the YFL Scholarship. Good leaders take the time to reflect. If you're not reflecting, you're missing the opportunity to progress and to improve. Once again, the mindset is progress, not perfection. The only way you'll see where you can improve is if you look back at what you did and how you executed. And so for the YFL Scholarship, personally, what I'll reflect on my experience applying for it when I was a high school senior. So this is 2014, I applied for the scholarship and I won the 2015 award. A few things I could have improved on, and I had good intentions to shoot a lot more of content related to the YFL Scholarship, but my client load got heavy and it was demanding. And so once again, it's all opportunities to improve. When I applied for the scholarship as a 17-year-old in 2014, I could have spent more time preparing to submit the application. I look back at my submission, the actual essay I wrote and the date I submitted it. I submitted it, I think, the day after Christmas. I think it was due like the next day or something like that. I don't know. But I'm saying this to say preparation always Preparation enables you to increase your chances of success. Being prepared for opportunities. I think Nipsey Hussle, one of his favorite quotes from him that I like is, "How long till opportunity meets preparation? How long till the opportunity that you've been waiting for so long finally connects with the amount of hours you put in preparing for it?" I can speak to that now, today, in my current present circumstances in my life. How long until what I've been working on for the last 4 years, for really 5 years of my life, comes to full fruition and is able to impact the world, meaning Dope for Degrees. Dope for Degrees will be 4 years old on January 14th of 2020. I started the company as an 18-year-old freshman in college at Virginia Tech, and I literally built the company out of my dorm room. So I know this company is going to impact millions, billions. It's going to impact generations. But how long till opportunity meets preparation? When you've been working on something for thousands of days now, you look at 4 years, thousands of days, and just knowing that one day it's going to pay off. Like, it's already paying off. It's paying dividends now, but that massive impact. It's not about the money. It's more about the people, that massive impact. And so that's my biggest thing, is reflecting on my own scholarship experience with the YFL Scholarship. I could have spent more time preparing to submit the scholarship. I won the first place award, so don't get me wrong. I did the right things. I got the results I wanted, but there's always room for improvement. My mentor Thomas, he's in the chat, he always says, the biggest room in my house is the room for improvement. And I agree with that, and I believe it wholeheartedly. So there's always room for improvement. A couple of questions I'll ask you to think about as you reflect on your interactions with the YFL Scholarship. First question I'll ask you is, how did it make you see the world differently? Each scholarship I applied for made me look at life a little bit differently, because those prompts and those essay questions force you to think sometimes abnormally. Like the YFL Scholarship essay questions, this time they had 3 essay options as opposed to 2 when I applied a few years ago. And one of them was talking about describe a financial curriculum you would write to help someone understand how to manage their money. I don't think we ever take the time to think about a financial curriculum for the youth to help them manage their money and budget wisely. I don't think we take the time to reflect on those types of things. And so it helps you look at life a little bit differently. I remember applying for the YFL Scholarship, and one of the first things that I thought about after I finished that was I learned so much, because it asked me questions about credit and budgeting and money management and my financial plans and how I would pay for my student loans after I graduate. I remember having an affirmative statement in my writing, in my essay, where I said, I won't graduate with student loan debt. And I said this at 17, as a high school senior who was just stepping into the beginning stages of my scholarship process. I won't graduate with student loan debt. And I knew then that I wouldn't, but I didn't see it. It didn't manifest until 2019, which was 5 years later, because I submitted that scholarship in 2014. So you're talking about being able to understand things from a different perspective. So that's my first question. How did the YFL Scholarship make you see the world differently? As always, drop a comment in the chat. Let me know, or drop a comment in the comment section if you're watching the replay of this live later on. Second question I have for you is, did you do your best? Did you do your best? Be honest. Did you wait until the last minute to submit that scholarship? Or did you do it? Or did you submit it 2 weeks earlier? Did you submit it a week early? My sister said, what was one of the tips you gave your clients about the YFL scholarships for those who may want to apply next year? Pay attention to the details. That was one of my biggest tips. Pay attention to the details. We went through with my clients, we looked at my winning scholarship essay. And if that's something you're interested in, make sure you go check out our scholarship success program. When I go back and edit this video, I'll put the link to that, as well as the link to save 10% off at checkout. I'll put that link in the description box as well. But one thing I kept telling them was pay attention to the details. I teach my clients to write the rough draft without ceasing. So to write the first version of your essay without getting distracted. Put your phone away, put your notifications away, turn everything off, and just focus on what the task is at hand and focus on what you're writing. And oftentimes we had to go back and look at their essays and critique it here and say, hey, you need to explain more. You need to elaborate more. For instance, one of my clients, they talked about, they chose that essay option. I think it was essay option 2 that asked for a financial curriculum that you would write to help someone manage their money better. And they went into, which is something I always tell them, is to start off with a compelling thought to make someone think or to draw your reader in immediately. So they were talking about an experience they had where they had an internship and they earned 4 figures through that internship that summer, and then the next summer they were unemployed. And so how their poor spending habits when they had the money made them look at life differently and value money more when they didn't have any money coming in. And so when they had the money, they just bought whatever they wanted, clothes, shoes, whatever, food, whatever. But when they didn't have the money, it made them wish they would have budgeted better. And so they talked about that, but I said, you're not really answering the question because it's actually asking you to describe a financial curriculum. So I need you to go back and tweak your essay so that you're telling your story, but you're also making sure you're paying attention to the details of the prompt and you're answering the question as it's being asked to you. And so that was one of my tips, was to pay attention to the details. What do they want from you? It's very bad. It's one of the most horrible feelings you can have is when you apply for a scholarship and you put a lot of time and effort into it, and then you don't follow the directions. Like, let's say, for instance, the prompt asks you, I'm not talking about the YFL scholarship now. I'm talking about just random. Let's say Doe for Degrees. I offer a scholarship through Doe for Degrees, and we don't currently offer scholarships if you're thinking or you want to ask, but we will soon. I don't know when, but we will soon. And let's say I ask you to elaborate on how you saw your parents manage money in the household. It wouldn't be wise of you to start talking about how you manage money in the household. That's not what I asked you for. I asked you, how did your parents manage money in the household? So pay attention to the details and answer the questions that are being asked. And I know that comes off blunt and direct, but if you want to win, you got to pay attention. The only way you can win the game is to follow the rules. That's that. So that was one of my tips. That's my second question is, did you do your best on this scholarship? The first question is, what did you learn? The second question is, did you do your best? Well, not what did you learn, but did it make you see life differently? Did you do your best? And the third question is, how are you going to take your experience and apply it to the rest of your scholarship journey? How are you going to take the execution process or the thought process you had with applying for the YFL scholarship and apply it throughout the rest of your scholarship journey? What are you going to do? That's my biggest question. What are you going to do differently now that you're continuing to apply for scholarships? Hopefully, if you're not, congratulations, you're done. But I mean, how are you going to apply this to the future, basically? So those are my questions. It's 3:21. Y'all know I'm going to keep going. I'm going to go to like 3:30 today because the stream messed up at first. So we're going to push through and talk a little bit longer. But those types of conversations, those types of questions help you analyze and assess what you need to do differently. That's one of the biggest things when it comes to applying for scholarships or any scholarship, is looking at your work and seeing where you can improve. Okay, so I don't think too high and mighty of yourself and say that you're good because you won a top place award. If you won a top place award, congratulations. I know what that feels like. I can relate to you, but please know that it's better to look at your mistakes and celebrate than to ignore them and celebrate. So that's my biggest suggestion. Once again, if you have any questions or comments, drop them in the chat. I'll be more than happy to answer them. It is December 15th, 2019. We are a couple weeks out, I think 2-3 weeks, something like that, away from 2019 being over. This year will have been complete. It went by fast. It went by super fast. When December comes around, one thing I do as an individual, but also as a business owner, is I take the time to reflect. I don't typically do a lot of engagements in December. I don't do a lot of traveling in December. I don't do a lot of anything in the public eye or whatever in December. I'm very reserved and reflective. And the reason why I do that is because I want to make sure I finish strong. It's better to finish strong and start strong than to start strong and not finish at all. I want to make sure I finish strong, but I also want to make sure that I reflect on these last 11 and a half months that I've had and to see how I want my next 12 months to look, to prepare for that type of execution, that type of success, that type of development. And so I'm going to do, maybe this might be one part of the reflection for Doe for Degrees this year. Doe for Degrees is a company. We had a great year. Fantastic year. I mean, one of the best years so far, and it keeps getting better and better. So that's how I know something's working. We made a lot of mistakes this year. We messed up a lot this year. We're still cleaning up from mistakes early this year right now. But we definitely had some success. Mistakes we made is client management. I had to learn this was the first year I was able to work on Dope for Degrees full time because I had been building the company while I was taking my classes the last 3 years. I started the company in 2016. And this year I finished my course load at Virginia Tech in the fall of 2018. So the fall of last year. And I came into this year on Co-op. Co-op is a cooperative education program offered through Virginia Tech where you can take a full-time or a part-time internship and focus on that solely while maintaining your student status as an enrolled student. Basically meaning you can work for yourself or for another company and still be a student at Virginia Tech. Now, how does that impact you financially? Financially, if you want to take an internship or something, and I don't know if this is the case at every university. I can only speak for the university I attended and the university I know about. If I had student loans, which I didn't, but if I had student loans, student loans go into repayment 6 months after you're no longer taking classes or you have graduated. That's two different things. You're no longer taking classes or you've graduated. Now, let's say, for instance, and I know this has happened to students, and I've seen this happen before, you have something catastrophic happens, something bad happens, and you need to take a mental break from school and you have student loans. You need to know the terms and conditions of your loans because if you take a mental break that's longer than 6 months, your student loans will go into repayment. And so having that conversation and making your loan servicer, your loan provider aware of what you're doing will help them understand how they can accommodate you best. Okay. And so that's just a side note. But I started that process in January of this year. I started this year off going to California to represent Dope for Degrees, the Silicon Valley Bank Trek. You can go watch the replay of that video. I'll link it when I go back and edit this video. And so I had the opportunity to represent Virginia Tech. I was the only student at the SVB Trek who represented Virginia Tech. And I also had an opportunity to represent my company amongst other students, graduate students, PhD candidates, PhD students, and undergraduate students as well. I'm talking about students from Harvard, students from China, UK, everywhere. It's an international student business leadership opportunity. And that was a kickoff for January. That was literally the day after New Year's. And so that was a fantastic kickoff. I loved it. I spent a lot of time from January until May getting ready to transition. This year was a transition year. If I have to identify anything about this year in business, life, what have you, it was a transition year, moving from who I once was to who I'm supposed to become. And so I spent a lot of time preparing, getting an apartment, getting my finances together, looking at things, speaking engagements, all that stuff to relocate to Woodbridge, Virginia, knowing I would graduate from Virginia Tech in May. I graduated debt-free this year from Virginia Tech, which is big for Dope for Degrees because I was my first client. My sister taught me that. She's in the chat too. You're your first client. The only reason I can say the stuff through Dope for Degrees, the stuff we teach works is because I did it and it worked for me. So I know it's proven. Practical advice and techniques that will help you be successful. And so that happened in May, graduated debt-free, having earned more than $200,000 in scholarships, relocated to Woodbridge. And in between graduating and getting myself established, I did one of the biggest things I've done to date with two of my best friends. We co-founded the In My Bag Tour. It's a philanthropic endeavor where we give back to communities, especially our hometowns, and we give the youth access to the resources they need to succeed. So this summer, we gave more than 500 book bags filled with school supplies and 200 teacher appreciation gifts between 2 states and 2 different cities to 2 different communities. We went to my hometown of Danville, Virginia, and gave back. And then we also gave back in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Corey, my co-founder's hometown. And so that was a company effort because I partnered with them through Dope for Degrees with their company, No More Interviews, LLC. I'm 22. Kevin's 23, who is my co-founder, and Corey's 25. I actually have a picture right here. I don't know if y'all can see it, but this is our primary photo throughout the endeavor that we showed to a lot of people. And we actually gave each student and teacher a copy of this picture, and we wrote a message on the back. This one says, I don't know if y'all can see it, but it says, believe in yourself, chase your dreams, and always give back. And it has our names, our ages, and the fact that it's In My Bag Tour and the date 08-2019. So we did that in August. And I'm pictured here. Thanks, sister. Kevin's picture's here. Corey's pictured here. I'm 22. Kevin's 23. Corey's 25. We all co-planned this endeavor. We worked every day from April 4th or April 6th until we executed on August 17th. We worked day in and day out to give back to communities. Once again, I'm 22. Kevin's 23. Corey's 25. This originated from an idea to do a back to school giveaway. And we raised more than $10,000 in a month and a half and was able to give back. And so just that was the biggest highlight of this year for me, was being able to give back not only to my city, but that meant so much to me because I've been wanting to give back to Danville since I was like 10 years old. Dreamt about the day in and day out, just being able to give back to people without expecting anything in return and everything being free and it being a moment to just come together and celebrate life as we know it. And so that was fantastic. And we're doing the tour again in 2020. So make sure you keep your eyes on this YouTube channel. You can also check out the website at inmybagtour.com to learn more about that endeavor. But this year was a transition year, but also a year that tested my faith. Because I came to Woodbridge and I saw God provide while we were doing the tour. And then I struggled for a couple months trying to pay my rent and keep the business up afloat. And there was a moment when I almost threw in the towel because I'm like, what's the point of all this? Like, God, you sent me here and now everything's not working. But what I learned was even when things get tough, that's when you have to stand firm on who you are and trust your gut and keep going. And so I say all this to say that you have to know for sure and trust yourself wholeheartedly. And if you're spiritual, you have a faith or what have you, know that whoever you refer to, God, Allah, higher power, what have you, will come through. Everything will work out. The beautiful thing about life is the ups and downs of life. It's what teaches you who you truly are. That's where you learn the most about yourself. When you're down and when you're up, because the values you have when you're down will shine brighter when you're up. What I mean by that is mentally, I was down for a couple months, but I still got up every morning and I did my work. I still worked 16 hours a day, whether the money was coming in or not. And I've seen it a lot with celebrities because I study, and y'all know the Habits of Scholarship Winner series I started this year. And I think it was in September I started the series, and I have to drop the video for December. That's right, facts, TMH. I did that intentionally. And it may not get a lot of views. I don't really care about the views. I care more about the execution. The Habits of Scholarship Winner series is so important to me because I've taken a lot of time every single day I've been allowed to study the greats, study the celebrities, study people who've made it, quote unquote, big or been successful, but also study the people who haven't and what helped them succeed and how did they fall to their detriment, or why did they die to an overdose, or what was that? And the values you hold when you're down shine brighter when you're up. So if you value money, that's what you value. When you get it, that'll be the thing you hold on closest to. And what I had to learn during that season when the money was coming in, when God was providing, I was focused on the people when we were doing the In My Bag tour. It was all about the people. I wasn't worried about where the money was coming from. It was just making sure we got those book bags to those kids and we got those teachers, those appreciation gifts. What's up? That's right, sister. Amen. But when the money wasn't coming in, my mind had shifted to how am I going to pay my rent? I need to call this person, try to get this speaking engagement just so I can get the money to pay my rent. But what happened was when I finally realized the reason why the money wasn't coming in is because my mindset or my focus had shifted to the money and it switched back to the people. Doors started opening like crazy and they're still opening. So what I'm asking you to focus on is the right things. When you apply for the scholarships, yes, you're looking at money. You're doing your figures. I'm not telling you I'm not telling you to not focus on money, because you have to be able to calculate your scholarships to know if you're bringing in enough so that you won't have to take out a student loan. That requires focus and attention. What I'm telling you is to make sure your values and your priorities are intact. What's most important to you and why? The reason why I really went on my scholarship journey, the reason why I really have been building this company is because I know it's going to change the world. And if it's going to change the world, first it has to change people. First it has to impact people. First it has to be able to service people. And so this year, this transition year has taught me to build the company so that it's automated and we're serving as many people as possible with the best customer service we can. That's one of the biggest lessons I've learned this year. And there's still 16 days left in this year. There's still content we're going to drop. There's still courses we're going to release. There's still ebooks we're going to produce. But what I say all this to say, if you never take the time to reflect, you'll miss all the lessons you should have learned along the way. If you never take the time to think about how far you've come, you won't be grateful for where you currently are. I went back, and I'm going over time, but I want to say this before I close out. And if you do have a question or something, drop it in the chat. I took some time yesterday, and I started going back through my old videos for Dope for Degrees when I was speaking at a conference, and I shot a promo video or looking at my flyers, and there was this sense of joy that came over me that I never felt before. And I could see the old me and the drive and the hunger and thirst and the resilience I had then, and looked at the me I know now to say, I'm so glad I didn't quit. I'm so glad I didn't throw in the towel, because the old me prayed to be where I am now, and the current me can't wait to see what I'm going to be like in 5 years. So, hey, if you really want it, you got to keep putting in work. You got to keep going. You can't throw in the towel. You can't quit. But be grateful for every opportunity. Be grateful for every no. Be grateful for every yes. Be grateful for every chance to be who you are and live and walk in your purpose. Because that's what's going to change the world. It's you being your authentic self and not changing for anyone else. I love y'all. I hope this video helped you. Once again, congratulations on submitting the YFL Scholarship. It's only going to get better. The only way is up. Focus on the 24 hours you're given today and keep going, keep pushing. I believe in you, and I hope you believe in yourself too. Thank you, sister. I love y'all. I'll talk to y'all soon.